Thank you very much. All right. All of you parents out there, I want you to imagine that you've been married for 20 wonderful years. Then one day you wake up and everything seems to have changed. Your perception is that your entire family has turned on you. Your entire family has deserted you. You lose your spouse, your home, and most tragically, your children. Now, the children you raised, now all of a sudden, they don't even want to speak to you. They don't want to see you. And you just keep asking yourself, what have I done to deserve this? Well, Sarah says this is her story. Take a look.
Mark and I were married for 23 years. We raised 3 wonderful children together. I was the full-time mother. We were one big happy family. After being happily married for about 19 years, the marriage started to fall apart. My children turned on me. My husband turned on me as well. The children became very disrespectful, rude, and condescending. I was abused by my children. One of my sons called me a piece of... We don't talk that way. I would tell my children to do something and Mark would say, oh, you don't have to do that. Mark started making me out to be a bad person, that I was crazy, that I was irrational. I was so devastated. I felt horrible. They became monsters. They were nothing that I taught them. Manners, civility, respect, kindness.
I told her I love you, but I can't live with you anymore, and we need to move forward to get a divorce.
After the divorce, my children treated me like I was a disease. I was a plague. They wouldn't have anything to do with me. Over the course of 5 years, I have sent them about 1,500 emails and left 1,500 voicemails. My children have never returned an email and never returned a voicemail. There's no doubt in my mind that my ex-husband, Mark, has brainwashed our children against me.
So Sarah decided to take matters into her own hands. In fact, she has made it her mission, her crusade, to not only reunite with her own children, but she says help families everywhere.
My ex-husband, Mark, has used parental alienation strategies to teach my children to hate me, when in actuality, I'm their loving mother. Life without my children feels empty. It's horrible. I was so upset and frustrated that I decided to do something about it. I've created what I call a campaign to bring awareness to parental alienation and then help resolve it. I have some speaking engagements coming up, and my master plan is I'd like to get the money to hire a lobbyist. This is definitely my passion. On average, I'd say I spend about 12 hours a day working on this, at least. It makes me very angry to feel that I'm a victim of parental alienation, but it also empowers me, so I can help my children as well as millions of other children.
Okay, Sarah, I'm glad to meet you. I'm sorry for the circumstances. I wish we were talking about a happier situation with your family, but you feel that your husband has brainwashed your children and turned them against you, correct?
Correct. It's an indoctrination.
Do you think he did this consciously and purposely, that he set out to alienate them from you?
He set out to make me to look like I was crazy or a person that I'm not. It's called strategies, and they...
No, wait a minute. Don't give me a 101 on parental alienation syndrome. I want to know your experience. I want to talk about your situation.
Well, in my situation, I didn't understand. So I went to therapy, and they said, yes, this is what happens. Children's minds can be brainwashed, and I went through therapy to understand what happened to me and my children.
Okay, and at this point, you have how many children?
I have 3.
Okay, and you have no contact with any of them at all right now?
Well, I was advised to always keep in touch, email, let them know none of this was their fault, that I don't blame them, that I love them, that I'm here for them. We had beautiful relationships until the parental alienation started, and I reiterate this.
How long has it been since you've seen your children?
Over 5 years. No, I would like to talk about moving forward with my children. I'm a wonderful person, and I'm a kind mother.
Let's hear what Sarah's ex-husband, Mark, has to say.
Okay.
We had a pretty good marriage for the first 19 years. Just as we got to the 19th year, the dynamics during the marriage changed. Sarah became completely irrational and illogical. Sarah started more and more to get angry about things that made no sense. She became very unhappy. She would spend about 3 to 4 hours a night literally raking me about everything that I did wrong. Sarah, I believe, absolutely was abusing both myself and the children. She would yell out and she would claim that I was stupid and ignorant. I always thought that Sarah would snap out of it, and eventually I couldn't live with that anymore, so I needed to get divorced. Sarah told me that she was going to destroy me and that she was going to win.
Well, Mark says that he had no choice but to take some drastic measures.
Sarah has attempted to make my life a living hell. If you don't agree with her, you're bad. It's as simple as that. She was writing emails telling me I was evil, I was a parental alienator, that I committed all sorts of frauds, and I believe the record one day was 21 emails.
I emailed my ex-husband, Mark, in a reasonable manner. I was peaceful, just like Gandhi and Martin Luther King talk about. I wanted to understand why my kids didn't want to see me.
The kids forwarded an email that their mother sent. The gist of that email was that she said that Osama bin Laden had been brought to justice, and the very next sentence said that a horrible person in their lives she was hoping to bring to justice as well.
I was not threatening him in any way. If there's some threat that he perceived something of a threat, he should have brought it to me. I don't have that behavior. I don't threaten people. I'm more collaborative.
I went to the police. I was extremely fearful of what it meant for my life. Ultimately, there was a restraining order issued to Sarah.
I feel like Mark got the restraining order so he could further align the children with him. Mark has tried to make me out to be crazy, unreasonable, and someone they should fear.
I am extremely concerned about what Sarah might do, and I have been told by professionals that I should be afraid of what she might do.
Tell me why you want to be here today.
I'd like to be here because I'm hopeful that somehow my ex-wife, Sarah, can figure out that I'm not an alienating parent, and also that, you know, the possibility of her somehow having some relationship with her children depends on changes that she's going to need to understand.
You want that relationship for her to have with
I've encouraged it all along. She doesn't understand it.
Mark has remarried, and his new wife is here. She, too, has a restraining order against Sarah, separate from her husband. We're going to meet her next. Plus, one of Sarah's children was, in fact, willing to come here today. What they remember of their childhood when we come back.
It's extremely important for Sarah to understand that I did not take our children away from her. That her actions, her statements, are the ones that drove the kids away from her.
I am the enemy in my children's eyes. In all honesty, I'm their savior.
Well, Sarah is convinced that her ex-husband, Mark, is alienating her from her children. The once happy couple have not had any contact in nearly a year because he has a restraining order against her, which she says is unwarranted. And Mark isn't the only one with a restraining order against Sarah. His new wife, Phill, says she lives in fear of this 100-pound woman.
Sarah threatened me, calling me a high-priced call girl. I was spending her money. Mark stole from her. After being married to Mark for about a month, I got an email from Sarah. The first email was, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to email you, so I won't contact you again." And I said, "Thank you." And after that, emails just kept going, escalating, getting worse. Over the course of 3 months, I must have received 100 emails.
The emails from Sarah were incredibly ugly.
If Phill felt threatened, she should have told me. She must be a pretty weak person. I'm trying to help
I felt violated. The only option was to get a restraining order.
When I found out from Mikkel there was a restraining order, I was like disgusted. I was like, not these games again. What's next? They're looking to alienate me.
I am afraid of Sarah. When someone's that unstable and that angry, you just don't know what they're capable of.
Did you call her a high-priced call girl?
I don't recall. I know my therapist, when you say...
No, I'm asking you. Did you call her a high-priced call girl?
I don't recall.
I have a copy of an email here dated Friday, February 27th, and the subject line, it's from you, Sarah, to you, Mikkel, and the subject line is, are you any different than a high-priced call girl or a mistress who knowingly does wrong things and hurts innocent people for money? Have a nice weekend pretending to be someone you are not.
Okay, that could have very well been.
Well,
because I was going through therapy. Okay.
I mean,
you know, when my therapist, when I came to them and I said, this is going on, they're the ones that told me this is parental alienation.
On May 17th, you wrote to her, you are a consenting adult and you do not have the Stockholm Syndrome. Do you plan on continuing to listen to Mark's lies? You could possibly find yourself in a situation where you will be unable to tell the judge that you were unaware of what was going on. I need to end this parental alienation, and my money, which I rightfully deserve, will help address some of the issues.
Right.
Does he have money that is yours?
That's what I've been told professionally, and I was also told professionally to contact the IRS so I couldn't be an accomplice. And I had to do that to protect myself. I was told professionally. Contact the IRS, so
Let's get back to the alienation here.
Okay.
How did he do it?
Well, all right, let me make it very simple. They lie, and this is what they do.
Not they. I'm asking you he. You keep talking about they.
Because they all fit a pattern.
No, I don't want to hear about the pattern.
Okay.
I want to know about what's happened in your case.
He's delusional, and he doesn't say it like it is. I am not anybody to fear or hate. I did what Gandhi and Martin Luther King do, and I use passive resistance. I use the emails to send to them to try and communicate, to say it's in the children's best interest to have both loving parents in their life. I'm a loving parent. I'm
My
trying
question
to use...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. My question was, what has he done to alienate your children from you?
He's filed restraining orders. He's told lies about me. He's told...
What has he lied about you? What did he say that was a lie about you?
He said that I'm dangerous, like when my son called me a piece of shit and I threw the water at him. He said, children, run to your room. She's going to attack you. I'm going to attack you. I've never attacked anybody in my life.
And what do you say about that?
Things.
I did not say that at all. Actually, one of the children went and called the police because of what she threw at him. And so he made the choice. He called the police.
He's known to lie. He lies on tax returns. He lies in other ways. That's his disposition. He lies that I'm dangerous. This is what they do. I don't want to play this blame game. I'm a really good person. I do a lot of good things.
Listen, I'm going to conduct an interview here, and I'm sorry if you don't like the questions. This is a he said, she said, and I'm trying to find out if, in fact, there is change-worthy behavior on one or both sides. Now, you're either lying or you're telling the truth.
I'm telling 100% the truth.
Like the tax returns.
I have
Let's take a break. Only one of Sarah's children was willing to come today and face their mother. Two of them did not refuse. They adamantly refused. They said absolutely not. How do you feel about that? I was able to get one of them here, but not the other two.
Just like the Middle East, what Carrie is doing, they've been indoctrinated to hate and fear.
I don't want to talk about Gandhi and Martin Luther King in the Middle East. I want to talk about your children here. Trying to stay focused here. Okay. Just trying to stay focused on your family and your children. We're going to hear from your child when we come back.
Good. Oh, what's that?
I have cut off all communication with my mom and not spoken with her in over 4 years. I'm about to sit down with her face to face, and I am nervous. I'm scared. I don't know if I'm ready to even see her again. I don't know if I want to see her right now.
Sarah has made a lot of claims over the last few years that I've paid off a lot of people. Sarah has been banned from a Jewish temple, and she's claiming that I paid the rabbi off. That's completely false. I absolutely believe that if the Dr. Phill show does not go the way that Sarah wants it to go, that she will make the claim that I paid Dr. Phill off.
Hey. Sarah is furious with her ex-husband, Mark. She believes that he is guilty of alienating their children from her with the help of his new wife, Mikkel.
Wait, excuse me, I'm not furious. As it was told by me, he's very sick and needs help. He's not a bad person, he's sick and needs help. I'm not furious.
All right, Sarah is very concerned about Sarah is very concerned about the mental illness that her husband may be suffering from that would make it okay with him to alienate children from their own mother. And let me tell you, if that's going on, it is a horrible, horrible thing to do that will come back and bite you in the end. Mark, I'm telling you, I guarantee you, if this is coming from you and you are falsely accusing him, then that's going to come back to bite you. And understand,
experts
since
have validated it. Experts told me that this
well,
is what
here's
was
an
going
expert
on.
telling you the jury's still out. Okay. And children can become alienated from a parent by the acts of the spouse, or they can become alienated from the parent by the acts of that parent. And I don't think there's any doubt that these children are alienated from you. That, I think, we can all agree on. We invited all three of Mark and Sarah's children to be here today. Her sons absolutely refused to have anything to do with their mother. They wouldn't discuss it. They were non-negotiable, said it's not happening. Only Julie, their 22-year-old daughter, agreed to share the stage with Sarah. She says in no way has her father alienated her from her mother. Take a look.
My mom has left me hundreds of voicemails, sent me hundreds of emails.
I still email my children and I call them regularly.
You can either understand the truth or live a lie.
I have no idea if they're getting them, but as a good parent, you're supposed to prepare your children for the future, and this is what I try and do.
She'll address them too. These are my wonderful but mentally abused children with parental alienation syndrome, telling me I'm sick, like how long am I gonna let my father control me? I need to learn to stand up to my dad, like 5-6 pages long, just ranting. They were just all of her complaints.
I'm trying to be a voice of reason, but one thing I do not do is I do not badmouth their father. I talk in general terms. This is parental alienation. I have said, based on what professionals have told me, he's not a bad person, he's a sick person and needs help.
I've just completely ignored her.
It makes me feel horrible that I don't have communication with my daughter.
I truly believe that if she saw all my brothers and I, and we started talking to her, she'd stop her website. Like, she wouldn't continue doing it to help millions of children. And I know that for a fact.
Julie, come on out. Good to meet you. How are you?
Oh my God, you look so different. Oh my God.
Have a seat right there.
Oh my God.
Julie, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Tell me why you want to be here today.
Well, I came here because I know something needs to change. She has no accountability for anything she's ever done to hurt me.
What have I done that's hurtful? I have only sent loving emails. What have I done?
You're saying that this parental alienation, like I've had issues with you, and I've told you since they got really bad at 6th grade, and that's
what.
Why do you think I went to boarding school? Okay.
No, you went to boarding school because
Okay.
you were bored at the school where you were, and your father and I thought it was
this
great.
would be a
Do you
great time to listen.
Do you not remember, like, before I went to boarding school, we used to fight all the time.
Oh, mothers and daughters don't fight?
No, it's not normal for me to not be able to have a conversation with
Okay,
you.
it's
And
not- so you're saying
are you
you're
cutting me
happy
off?
without me?
Yes.
There's a rabbi. You said Mark paid the rabbi
Something's
off.
going on with that.
Pastor Rick Warren, that Mark paid him
Rick
off.
Warren, you wouldn't get involved.
If you bought this boy off, you must have a lot of money. Now, I read every word that you said as we talked to you, your letters, your pre-interview, and I have put together what I think is your point of view in a timeline about how things went. You said, and these are quotes, I'm sorry that y'all have to kind of turn around a little bit.
You okay?
Yeah.
There's a real big one right here.
Oh, I
right
didn't.
here.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought you might want to stay by Julie's. You told us that from 85 to 08, that you guys had a wonderful marriage, that you gave examples, which I thought were great examples. That's why I keep asking you for personal examples. You said you and the kids would cook and bake, and that...
And knit. Julie's a good knitter.
See,
Right?
kids knit. See,
I
think I didn't do my homework? Kids knit, and you were stay-at-home mom, and you said that you actually got loving emails from your kids at boarding school.
I do.
So, like, if you're just such a just unconscionable bitch, why would you get loving emails from your kids?
Exactly.
Then in 2008, that's when you say that this parental alienation started.
That's correct.
You said that Mark is narcissistic, just like your father. Your kids, it's like overnight became monsters and mimic their father's behavior.
That's correct.
Okay? And you blame a lot of people for not intervening, not helping, not acting here.
I don't blame a lot of people.
Well, let's see. You said Mark brainwashed the kids.
Yes.
You said Mikkel's silence means supportive of parental alienation. You said the kids ganged up on you, that they're little versions of Mark.
That's correct.
You said the judge wanted to shut you up when you were complaining about a therapist and that Mark paid him off.
Yeah.
There was a unification therapist. You said that therapist was crooked and Mark paid the therapist
No,
off.
the therapist didn't practice safe haven therapy. I got this from my therapist.
Did you tell us that this was a crooked therapist and Mark paid him off?
Something happened in there, yeah.
There was a rabbi. You said Mark paid the rabbi
Something's
off.
going on with that, and I haven't gotten to the bottom of that. But yeah, there's something going on in there.
Okay, and Pastor Rick Warren, that Mark paid him
Rick
off.
Warren, I said, could you stand as a therapist and mediate?
Okay.
And he wouldn't get involved.
Okay,
I'm just saying the facts. I'm not saying
Yeah,
bad.
right.
I didn't say he paid him off. I
No,
said,
yes, you did say he paid him off. You told us that he paid him off.
there's
told
something
me in
going on.
messages
There's
that
something
he
going
pays them
on.
off.
I'm
Something's
sorry,
going
Julie,
on.
what?
He sends me messages
Something's
saying
going on.
Dad pays off all these
Something's
people.
going on. Unless
Oh, no, I'm
Lynette-
talking to Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She just sends me messages saying, like, my dad pays off all these people. Like, anyone who disagrees with her, my dad has to pay him.
I wouldn't, given
That's
certainly the tax allegations, I'm not going to discuss your income, but I do know, I do know.
I don't have an IRS problem at all.
I know the pastor. He's a friend, and if you bought this boy off, you must have a lot of money. I'm saying he's got a lot of money.
I don't.
Why
Okay.
won't he talk about parental alienation
It's not
and
his
just give us
problem.
sermons?
You do blame a lot of people.
I don't blame anybody. I'm taking the proactive approach, and I don't blame anybody. I'm stating the facts. I was a loving mother, did everything I can.
Sarah, I said that the fuel that moves this train
Yeah.
is insight.
Okay.
What ownership do you have in this problem, and what could you do to inspire an open mind on her part?
What I could do would be to continue to love you
But it never was good before. You don't.
Wait a minute. I was a full-time mom, and you did really well, and we have all these
Just
pictures
because I
of you
did well
happy.
doesn't mean you hurt me. Didn't hurt me.
Well, then let's go to therapy and talk about it.
We've done that, and you fire the
I-
therapist when they don't agree with you.
Wait a minute. I never fired any therapist, and I don't love Bobby. That was a strategy. We went to so many different therapists because my ex would say, I don't like this one. I'd say, okay, try another one. I like this one. And then they
You
turn
pick
it
them all
on
and
you.
fire
This is
them
what they
all.
do. Well, then you pick a therapist that is very reputable. and we'll
How
go to
about
that
how
one.
about
And
I
we'll
pick
go to
one?
that one.
There is a whole lot more to this timeline. I am just getting started. We'll be right back. All right. Sarah and Mark's kids are alienated from their mother. Who is to blame is really the question. Now, one of those children is here, Julie, and she is here to talk to her mother for the first time in nearly 5 years. You have to understand that some of what you're doing is not working. You say, I don't blame anybody. You blame everybody. I mean, now let's take a look at this. Julie, help me out.
Okay.
This is Sarah's point of view about what happened. Now, you say that this was wonderful, and the kids baked and cooked and knitted and all of that, and I think that that was a big part of this family's life. I think it was wonderful. But it wasn't perfect, because Julie says that she was so stressed out that she was actually cutting between the ages of 8 and 11. You started...
Third grade through fifth grade.
Third grade through fifth grade. You started cutting yourself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know that till right
I didn't tell anyone
And I'm
because-
sorry that you didn't know that till now, but I'm telling you, that is a high-stress situation, and you were doing it why?
For relief. Well, I didn't know why, but looking back, it was always like when my mom would yell at me for stupid reasons. Like, I felt like I could never do anything right. So like I always tried to follow rules, so I couldn't just say, oh, I'm gonna behave today and I won't get in trouble. Because no matter what I did, she'd always be yelling at me. So I would run up to my bathroom and cry every day and lock myself in my bathroom. When I was in there, sometimes I'd take like nail clippers and the sharp part. I didn't like try and kill myself and cut my wrist, but I would like cut my arms, like give myself bruises, because I didn't know what to do to like I felt like I could never make her happy. She was always yelling at me no matter what, and I did it for relief.
Look at all the photographs. They don't show this.
I didn't know.
Oh, it's not something I'm proud of. I want to share. Like, why do I need to tell you I'm doing it? You're the one hurting me.
Move forward.
When you can't move
Let's
forward
move
without you
forward.
recognizing you have some things to work on as well.
And what did I do that bothered you so much?
Oh, what?
Okay, well then let's
Okay,
address
let me-
it.
I will.
Let's
Julie, let me
address
help
it.
you answer that question, because we ask you these questions. And the point that this is where the insight comes in, Sarah, Mark, I want you guys to understand, because you're saying 85 to 08, everything was hunky-dory, and in 08, that's when the parent alienation started. That's that they were wonderful, perfect relationships until then.
it
Not
was like-
perfect, but
was
certainly
overnight,
healthy
yes.
relationships.
I agree.
But the truth is that she reports, long before you ever accuse him of doing anything wrong, she's telling you that back from 3rd to the 5th grade, she is cutting herself. People cut themselves to escape pain, to feel something, to relieve anxiety. Julie says mom is telling her that she is fat and antagonize
At age
her.
13, you were calling me fat to my face. You'd come up to me, pinch my stomach. You'd give me glares every time I eat. And you'd just be so rude to me about
I
it.
don't do those
Yes,
things.
you do.
That's not my
Yes,
pattern
you
of
did.
behavior.
But she remembers, understand, reality is perception. You
I
have
have to be
described yourself as an
delusional.
alienation expert.
You did it
so
to me,
you
too.
have got to show some insight here.
I don't do those things.
You did it to me too.
I don't do
Yes,
those.
you did. We watch you, and that's why we have problems with you, because you never remember anything you do wrong.
I don't remember. I have a very
Well,
good
try and
memory.
remember. That's-
I don't behave this way.
Okay, it's really important that you hear what she's saying. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with it.
Okay, well, I think if we begin again, you will see I'm not that way.
Begin again without
And you
cheating.
have to begin again, and if we go through therapy and we can start, you will see I'm not that
Well-
way.
You really don't want to hear any of this, do you?
I think it needs to be heard with a therapist because this is delusional. You're saying my
You're going to hear the rest of this.
Okay.
There, you throw hot water at your son, he calls the
She's done it
cops.
to me too in the car.
I'm just,
She's thrown her hot tea on me. She just gets angry, throws it back on me.
I don't even.
You've done that.
I don't even recall. I
The whole issue.
drive.
You don't recall anything
I don't.
you do.
This is delusional. I don't.
You have no
do-
accountability for
How
anything
can I
you
drive
do?
and throw?
you really don't want to hear any of this, do you?
I think it needs to be heard with a therapist because this is delusional. You're saying my boys. You're saying the boys.
Let's get
You're
somebody
saying
out
the
here that knows
boys.
what the hell they're doing.
No, you were saying the boys. My boys. That's what I'm saying. You said the boys.
It's not their issue. It's your issue.
Okay, go ahead.
Sarah, you say that during this time, after the parental alienation started, that across this 5-year period, you send 1,500 emails and calls. The kids visit you, leave early. You go to Mark's house and throw a rock at the window and spray the house with the hose.
No, I was coming by and they wouldn't let me in, and I couldn't get their attention. So the hose was out there, so I turned the hose on, and they were there, and I sprayed the window. And then, you know the little pebbles?
Pea gravel.
Yeah, the pea gravel. And I threw that to get their attention. That's all it was.
You
It was
had our
the-
attention for hours,
But
stalking
you
us
wouldn't
around
let
the
me
house.
in
Why
to
did you
go
need
to
to
the
be in the house? And then you threatened to pee on the doorstep if we don't let you in.
What?
Yes, you did.
Came to pick up something, and I wanted to use the bathroom, and I don't speak the word pee. That's
No,
that's not how I talk.
You said, I'm going to go to the
I
bathroom
said go to
on
the,
the
bathroom.
doorstep. Okay,
I went
same
to the
thing.
neighbor's house. But that was what that was about, to get their attention. I don't throw things.
You do a
That's
lot of
not
things
my
that are-
behavior.
So we're
These are-
talking hundreds and hundreds of
If
emails.
you don't talk to your children and you send them every couple days, is that so terrible when you don't talk to your children?
When we read what the emails say.
You did not produce emails or written documentation to us of Mark saying ugly things about you, but
Because I want to move forward.
we do have emails where you have said, written to your children, it is immoral to lie and it is illegal to lie to the judge and submit false documents to the court. I'm doing so much better now that I am away from your father and all of his mind games and demeaning ways he treated me. Something is wrong with him. Your father is delusional. He makes up things because of his mental illness. I'm sure your father is telling you lies about me again. They
Either-
ultimately
plus
got
they
restraining
didn't-
orders against you.
They
These
didn't get
two.
restraining
These
orders.
two,
They got
I'm saying these two got restraining orders against you.
They got restraining orders against me for the emails, they said. Because I never went to their house or saw them or did anything. It was all the emails. I never had any physical contact with them. I don't do those things.
Well, I gave your point of view.
I was trying to write to them to try and help the situation, to get us to therapy, to get
I've now
some
given
help.
you their point of view.
Okay.
So now we have your point of view. We have their point of view.
Okay.
How do you feel about your dialogue with Julie today?
I feel that some things need to be gone over, and talked in more detail to get to more of the root of the problem. But also if she's talking about things that happened years ago and whatever, we're new people, that we need to move forward.
That's right. We need to be new people today.
I've only gotten worse. You don't know me. I haven't seen you in 5
listen
years.
to your voicemails, see some of your emails. You've gotten way worse. I think you need help. You need to realize Dad's not doing anything. You are the reason we don't talk to you because of things you've done, and we want to help you. That's why we're here.
Help, and my therapist advised me
do you
what
hear,
to do.
You're always quoting everybody from Gandhi to your therapist. Speak for yourself. Your daughter is here, and your daughter is saying,
I'm giving you a chance to get help here on the show.
my plan for this family when we come back. What can we all agree on? What we can agree is that the children are alienated from you. Why is that unhealthy circumstance true? Is it because one of the two parents is toxic? I mean, has something happened here? Has the father brainwashed these children into thinking that you are a bad person and a bad influence and that they should stay away from you? There are tools that alienators use to do that. And the tools that they use to do that is they use persistent and unfound criticism, right? They just badmouth you. They talk about the other parent. They limit contact. They try to keep the other parent away. They erase the other parent from the child's life. They take down pictures. They say you can't talk about them. They force rejection. Say, no, you have to reject her or you're betraying me. They do that. They create fear. Oh, I mean, that person's crazy or they're going to do something bad to you. They're going to ruin your life. They force a choice. They come up and say, if you love me, you won't be with them. If you love them, you're not going to be with me. They isolate children from the extended family of the other person. There are all of these tools that parents can use to alienate. On the other hand, there are parents that can become toxic in their interaction patterns to the point that children back away from them. And I said the fuel that drives this whole train is insight. You have to be willing to step out of yourself and look and go, wow, what I'm doing is not working. Do you support your children having a free choice to have a relationship with their mother?
Absolutely. I support a free choice for them.
Do you believe that it would be healthy to have a good relationship with their mother?
If it's possible, it would be healthy.
Are you open to, under the right circumstances, to say, all right, this is a beginning point. Would you participate in that? Are you willing to acknowledge that there are things you're doing that are contributing to the distance from your children and that you might want to take a new tact and try to build a relationship as a mother of an adult child?
It needs to be done.
So you're willing to participate?
I would love it. I've been trying to get them into therapy for 5 years. I love it.
Well, I've gotten this one to go.
Great.
And if that goes well, caring step parents out there that embrace these children and enrich their lives in ways that you just cannot imagine. But the rate of abuse among step parents is higher than among biological parents. And sadly, that abuse can lead to a tragic and heart-wrenching ending. Take a look.
A twisted case of family betrayal and murder.
Gowker confessed to the brutal beating death of his own stepson, Trace Wicker. In May 2011, students found the 14-year-old's body behind Liberty High School.
Family members are shedding new light on the murder of a 9-year-old girl in Long Beach.
9-year-old Xiomara Gonzalez Fernandez was murdered in this church parking lot, allegedly at the hands of her stepfather.
Not so fast, stepmommy. You say the little girl dies of a seizure? Our investigation reveals blunt force trauma to the baby's head. Trauma so severe, her head leaves an imprint in the living room carpet. Yeah, I'm on to you, Mommy.
Now, horrific stories like these are my first guest Brenda's worst nightmare. Why? because she claims that her husband, Drew, is such an abusive stepfather that even their cable guy, who just stopped by for a service call, reported him to CPS.
I don't care if you're filming this crap or not, I'm not going to put up with this. You're starting to me off because you're not listening and back talking.
My husband is an abusive stepfather. He is verbally, mentally, and physically abusive toward my son.
Brenda is crazy for saying that I'm abusive. I try to keep Austin in line. You're going to go out there and rake up the backyard. And if you don't, I'm going to get a paddle and I'm going to beat your ass. Austin deserves to get punished because he's lazy.
Austin is bipolar and he has ADHD.
Shut your mouth over there. Nobody wants to hear your smart mouth. Austin is a bad seed.
Drew has slapped Austin upside his head. He threw him up against the wall and he choked him.
You're going to start yelling at me? How about if I come in there and spank you? I'm not going to tolerate your mouth. Austin told me that he was going to be big enough and bad enough to beat me up. I told him I'll take his ass outside, we can go in the backyard and we can fight. Little boy, you've got to grow up and learn.
Don't talk to me like that.
What are you going to do about it, huh? You're going to sit there and yell at me like a fool? Austin is not too young for me to beat his ass. Stop being a disrespectful little brat. Keep it up and I'm going to smack the out of you.
Drew has called Austin many names. Little idiot.
Little and a jerk. He thrives on getting me frustrated.
I'm at the end of the rope with the way he treats my kids.
I wish that we could fix Austin's brain to where we would get rid of the problems and my life would be a whole lot better. I'm the king of this house. That's the way it goes.
Well, if that wasn't bad enough, Brenda says Drew has called her intellectually disabled daughter retarded and stupid. Now, Drew says he's just trying to get her ready for the real world.
My daughter Destiny was diagnosed with mild to moderate mental retardation. Drew's been verbally, mentally, physically abusive to Destiny.
What are you so happy for? What do you mean you don't know?
Drew expects Destiny to be like a normal kid.
Destiny's more intelligent than she plays off to be. She acts like she's the victim.
What is your deal for being a weirdo?
Destiny couldn't spell the word yet, and Drew told her, what, are you stupid?
Destiny will keep asking me, how are you, Dad? I will tell Destiny, that's enough. You've asked me that 10 times already, Destiny. It gets annoying. I tell her she needs to get off her butt and go do her chores, quit being lazy.
One day, she walked by the coffee table, and there was Drew's cup. She knocked it over, and he slapped her, and it was loud and hard. It's heartbreaking that she has to go through that.
Okay, you're concerned.
Yes.
What is your concern?
Well, my main concern is that my kids be treated with dignity and respect as people, and that things don't get out of hand and get worse.
And how long have you two been together?
9 years.
9 years.
We've been married for 8.
So this has been going on for a long time?
It's since my son's been older. Getting older and getting into his teenage years, he's getting a lot more mouthier, and my husband doesn't tolerate it at all.
And what do you think about all of this?
I think that if he decided to listen and quit back talking and being disrespectful, there wouldn't be any problems.
So this is his fault because he doesn't listen, he doesn't do what you tell him to do?
I think a lot of it has to do with him, and some of it might have to do with myself. But mainly, it's his attitude not wanting to listen. He does not like to listen at all when it comes to me telling him what to do.
And how about your stepdaughter? What is it about her that frustrates you? What does she need to do to fix this problem? Because you're saying if they just do the right thing, there wouldn't be any problem, right?
She's not the problem. Okay, let's understand that right now. She is not a problem.
Well, let's understand this right now. Why do you yell at her?
Because she knows better and does things that she's not supposed to, and does things over and over, or asks you something over and over, and you can tell her that you've already asked me that, and it just kind of gets annoying, and she knows. She plays like she's the...
But how many times have you been told she does have short-term memory loss, and she needs that repetitive direction over and over. Okay,
Yes.
she needs that.
I understand that, and I understand what disability she has.
But you still do the same things over and over.
It's kind of frustrating with one and the other. It's mainly the other, which would be Austin. He's the most frustrating one out of all of it.
And how do you deal with that?
I try to deal with it as best as I can until he likes to sit there and pick at me and pushes the buttons to where it annoys me and he thinks it's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's where he and I separate then, because I don't think it's funny at all.
I don't either, sir.
Well, I think you do. I mean, I watched the tape. What was the first statement you said on tape? I don't give a damn if you are taping this. Let me tell you something. And then you go on to aggressively berate and demean this child. What's your theory? What's the outcome you're looking for when you do that?
My theory is if he would have said, for instance, I'm tired, can I do the raking of the yard later? That might have been just fine. He straight out told me no, that he wasn't going to do it and that he's not going to listen to me.
And you said that he is, quote, he's just a bad seed. What does that mean? He's just a bad seed.
He's got a impulse problem with his brain. His brain completely does not know when to shut off the adrenaline. He gets adrenaline rushes. So he turns into a hyperactive, Incredible Hulk in less than 3 seconds.
So it's involuntary.
It's not actually his fault that it happens, but it does happen quite often.
Well, then, if it's not his fault and you understand that, why do you yell and berate him?
Actually, that's a good question to answer, and it's a hard one.
Well, here's what you said. You said, I'm trying to turn him into a man.
I'm trying to set him straight for life forward.
Have you called him names?
Yes, I have.
Little little jerk, bitch, little bastard, little idiot, and stupid.
Okay.
I apologize, ladies, for the language, but I want you to understand what we're dealing with here. You have called him all of those things, said all of those things to him, have you not?
Sometime in life, yes, I have.
Sometime in life.
Am I proud of it? No, I'm not.
Do you threaten him?
Define threatening him.
Okay, I will. Quote, you better shut the up or I'll knock your teeth out. Get the out of my face. Don't care if you're leave. This isn't your house anyway. I'm just going to punch a hole in your chest.
You have said that before many times.
Saying one thing and doing another is totally, completely different.
I didn't ask you if you did it. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm just asking you if you said it. I'm just trying to get it all on the table here so I know what I'm dealing with.
You're dealing with a kid that likes to push everybody's button to the max.
Okay, well,
and thinks it's funny.
First answer my question. You do say that to him.
I have said it to him before.
More than once?
It's possible.
Oh,
yes, he
come
has
on.
more than once.
You know, man up and own it. Hell, if you're going to do it, don't come out here and start waffling around. You either do it or you don't.
I have more than once. Man up, I'm more than a man than just as anybody else is.
Really?
Really.
And you think you're going to teach him to be a man by doing what you're doing? You want him to grow up and be a man like you?
No, I'm trying to show him the straight way and not get into trouble. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But you can't do that whenever you cuss at him and to call him names and make him have low self-esteem.
When he's not throwing a fit and he's acting normal and listening and behaving, he's the greatest kid in the world to be around and love him to death and step in front of a truck so he wouldn't get hurt. But when it comes to his mouth and his attitude, it really is stinking.
Did you say, if he wants to fight, I'm ready? He's not too young for me to beat his ass. He will not disrespect me. I will not bow down to him.
When a 14-year-old stands up to you and gets in your face like a man and says that he can whoop you, what do you expect a person to do?
I'm so glad you asked. Do you know how it sounds that you're physically hitting an intellectually disabled girl?
I think I'm about done with this show.
Have you threatened his bio father?
Have I threatened him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he threatened me first.
Have you said to him, go tell your dad I'll whoop his ass?
I sure have. And on that point there, to answer another part of that question, I have asked his biological father for help over the telephone to help me get this child to listen.
Well, so this is your strategy to get him to listen, to learn to be a man. Did you make a paddle?
I made 2 of them.
And you wrote red ass on it?
His mother did that.
Did you hit him with it?
I spanked him on his butt.
In fact, you told us, quote, I haven't used it in 6 months because he throws a fit like a little baby.
He does throw a fit like a little baby.
Did you grab him and throw him up against the wall in front of a family counselor?
In front of 2 family counselors.
Yes, I have. I grabbed him by his shirt and put him up against the wall and told him to stop acting the way he was.
And he's screaming, you're choking me.
Yes, he was screaming that Drew was choking him, and I was in an area where I couldn't see, and I went over there and I didn't see him choking him. He had a hold of his shirt up against the doors, and the counselor
I did not
had
choke
to tell
the
him
child.
to stop, and I had to tell him to stop.
I did grab him and put him up against the wall.
And what was your theory when you did that? What went through your mind when you did that?
Hopefully I was trying to put some fear in him to make him calm down.
Well, it didn't.
And that's what all this is. You're trying to get him under control. You're calling him names and yelling at him. You're going to beat his ass. You're throwing him against the wall. How's that working for you?
Calling him names really isn't the greatest thing in the world that I've ever done. Not too proud of it. It's not the greatest thing that you should do to any child. But when you're pushed past your point and you're losing control, you kind of say things that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to learn to control your temper in your mouth.
You get really frustrated with your stepdaughter as well.
Sometimes she'll ask the questions over and over, and I'll tell her that's enough. She's asked enough. It's the same thing over and over, and I know that she forgets, but after about 10 to 15 times, you kind of say, okay, you've already asked me that.
Well, but that's not what you say. You say, stop asking me dumb questions. You're lazy. You think she's smarter than she leads people to believe, right?
Oh, she is smarter than she leads people to believe.
She likes playing the victim.
She likes playing like she's helpless.
Have you called her stupid and retarded?
I've called her stupid and retarded a couple of times.
Have you said you're acting retarded? Stop asking so many stupid questions. You can't even spell the word yet. What's wrong with you?
I don't think I've ever said that to her.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, she would disagree. Were you there?
It was just the other day. We were in our room and Destiny said, how do you spell yet? And you go, you can't even spell yet? What is wrong with you?
I honestly don't remember that, to be truthful, but if you say so.
It was kind of mean.
You don't like me asking you these questions, do you?
I feel like that I have to be on the defensive side. So you can ask away and I'll answer as best as I can.
How does he treat you?
When we're alone, he generally treats me really good. We have a good group relationship, but whenever my son's there, or even my daughter sometimes, we're always fighting. We have to fight. I have to constantly be in between them. I feel like that all the time.
Have you gotten physically aggressive with your daughter?
No.
He has backhanded her in her arm 2 times that I know of, and 1 time was for spilling his drink at my
sister-in-law's. Is that true or not?
We were at her brother's house, and my daughter wasn't paying attention, and she walked by, and when she doesn't pay attention, she will either trip or knock stuff over, and I smacked her in the arm and told her to pay attention and watch what she's doing.
Is this when she knocked your cup over?
Yeah, it was at somebody else's house.
So when I asked you if you've been physical with her, you said no, that wasn't the truth. You have.
That is considered physical. And yesterday at the hotel.
What happened yesterday at the hotel?
He backhanded her in the arm.
Did it leave a mark? No. Did I really hit her hard? No. What was the reason why I hit her in the arm?
What was your reasoning? Because I don't think that you should have hit her at all.
Do you know how it sounds that you're physically hitting an intellectually disabled girl? How does that sound to you when it hits your ear and you hear somebody else say it?
Apparently that I think I'm about done with this show, because it seems like I'm going to have to defend myself every time that you speak a question to me. I'm not liking the way that this is working out here.
Well, I'm asking you the questions. You said ask me anything you want. I'll answer anything you want.
I just answered you.
No, you didn't. I said,
I don't
how do you think that sounds?
intentionally hit her on purpose. Okay. And if I think that she deserves to get smacked in the arm for not paying attention or doing something wrong, then that's what I did.
Do you want to know what I think, or do you care?
Well, truthfully, I don't care, but I would like to hear what you got to say.
How do you feel about how Drew treats you?
He's mean to me. When I'm doing the dishes, he tells me to hurry up. I was trying to stab them all. Sometimes it takes me a little time to figure out where goes where.
What is the worst thing that Drew has done to you?
Hit me on the arm, and it really hurt. I was running right by him, and the drink actually spilled by accident. I didn't mean to, and he punched me in the arm. I got sad. I cried myself to sleep.
How do you want things to be different in this family?
I just want Drew to be nice to Austin and have some peace.
Cool. I'm glad she said that.
What part?
All of it.
She's a very sweet kid and wouldn't do anything to hurt anybody, and she doesn't deserve to get hit.
I won't never
Or
touch
yelled
her
at.
ground again, because I don't think it's right when she acts or puts me in a position where I should discipline her. She's too old for that, and I love her to death. And I go whatever it takes at school. If I have to pick her up or take her to school, whatever it takes, I do for her. I do for my son too. I do the same thing. I went through a whole year of counseling, coming to my house every week for at least an hour or two every week. I even went to parental counseling on my own because my wife said, Drew, you think you need to get some counseling? Okay, I'll do it for you, honey. I'll do it. If it makes you happy, I'll go try this. I did it on my own. So I'm the bad person here, which is what it looks like. And sometimes I might be a little too rough. I'm not perfect. I was willing to try and change that and help out because this is my family. But the way things look right now, looks like that you guys are going to try to drill me here. And I don't think that's too cool. I came out here on my own to try to help and make things better, but it seems like it's going to make things worse.
Well, let me tell you what I think. You want to know what I think, or do you care?
Well, truthfully, I don't care, but I would like to hear what you got to say. You have an opinion. I'll hear it.
Well, if you don't care, why do you want to hear it?
Because I would like to hear what you got to say.
You came all this way, you might as well, right?
Right now, I'm a little upset, a little uptight, so I may say something that I might not mean. But sure,
Well,
I would appreciate it.
I'm real thick-skinned, and I'm going to hurt my feelings. I've been called,
I probably won't.
I've been called worse than I think you could come up with.
I probably would hope so.
Here's the thing. There's a reason that I agreed to do this story, because I had two choices in this once I learned about it and once I saw the tape. I could either try to help you, or I could just refer it to law enforcement, because I believe what you're doing is criminal. And I don't think you know that. I don't think you get it. I think that you are, like everybody else in this world, you just learn what you live. And I think people do the best they can with what they've got at the time. And I think you don't realize the impact and gravity of what you're doing. And I don't think you understand the impact and gravity of what you're doing. And so I elected to have a conversation with you and tell you the truth. and I tell people the truth as I see it. I'm not the repository of all knowledge. I'm not going to ask you to substitute my judgment for your own. You may completely disagree with me, and then you can go off and do whatever you want. But I think that you deserve for somebody to tell you the truth. Because I think if you will hear me, I think 6 months from now or a year from now, you will look back and say, thank God somebody stepped up and gave me a wake-up call. Because I am not proud of what I was doing, and I can now be proud of what I am doing. And that's my goal for you, is to tell you the truth. Now, I don't care whether you like it or you don't like it. What I do care is that I believe you need to hear something from other people's point of view. My point of view, her point of view, your son's point of view, your daughter's point of view. Because I think if you will do that, and you have a willingness, you can do something different than what you're doing here. So that's my goal. I wanted to find out what you were doing and what you weren't doing. You've been honest, I'll give you that.
I'll be more than honest. I'll tell you anything that you really want to hear. I don't need to lie. If I don't actually remember, then I'll tell you I don't actually remember. If I do remember, I'll tell you. Telling the truth is the only way to do it.
So what happened when you screwed up when you were a kid?
My mother would spank me if I was bad. I didn't get into trouble too much when I was young.
Yeah, how about your father?
Oh, I got spanked by my father. They were not together all my whole life.
Right.
So, yeah, I even took spankings for my so-called half-brother.
So who'd you live with?
I lived with my mother.
So when was your dad gone from your life?
About 6 weeks after I was born.
Yeah. So who taught you how to be a father? Who taught you what was right and what was wrong, where the boundaries were, what was okay, what was not?
My mother did her best on teaching me and being around her friends, but at least
But you didn't have a role model?
Not exactly, no.
A father that taught you how to deal with things?
Nope. Mm-hmm. He's in my life now, but back then, no.
Mm-hmm. What are you so angry about? What else do you do when a 14-year-old gets up in your face disrespectfully? What am I supposed to do? Kowtow? That's not the only other alternative.
Explain to me what you think the other alternative is so I could be enlightened.
What are you so angry about?
Can you define what I'm so angry about?
You just seem to have, look, I spend at least half my time hearing what isn't said.
Right.
And you seem to me to have a seething anger just below the surface. I think it's all you can do right now, since you've been out here, to not rage. And even as you sit there now, I just sense an anger in you, a rage in you, just beneath the surface. I mean, you're doing your best right now. I mean, you're sitting there, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep it together here. And I understand your anger at me. I get it if right now you're thinking I'd like to drag him out in Oklahoma field and whoop his ass. Well, let me tell you, I lived in Oklahoma. I know where those fields are, and I've been in a few of them. I get how that solves nothing. What I want to know is not what you're angry at me about, what you're angry about in general.
Angry in general. I have a lot of stress that is put upon me. That could be a good part of being angry. I have a job that I work at that I'm not too happy with, but it's paying the bills, and if I could find something else, then I would, and change, and it would probably be a lot better.
But he also has a problem with authority.
Yeah, I get that. That's why he wants to slap me.
Can I say something to you, to be honest with you?
Sure.
I knew what I was coming out here to get into. I volunteered for this, and if I thought I was just going to come out here and want to slap you, I would have never volunteered. I came out here to try to figure out what the problem is and try to get help to fix the problem.
But you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And it is apparent to me that we have a different definition of acceptability when it comes to parenting and how you express yourself. You do what you think is okay. You do what you think you are justified to do. You think because this 14-year-old has the audacity to defy you, to push your buttons, to be in your face, that gives you the right to say, I'm the king of this house and I will take you out and whoop your ass. If you want to get up in my face like a man, then I will whoop you like a man. That's just your level of reasoning. I get that. I understand that you think that's right. And I don't think that's right, and I have to convince you of a better way to do it, or you'll never stop doing it. But you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's why I asked you, did you say this? Did you do that? Did you say this? And you said, yeah. Well, yes. Like, so? I mean, your whole attitude to me seems to be like, yeah, so what else do you do when a 14-year-old gets up in your face disrespectfully? What am I supposed to do? Kowtow and kiss his ass and say, oh, well, okay, I just want to get along? That's not the only other alternative.
What is the other alternative? Explain to me what you think the other alternative is so I could be enlightened.
I will certainly do that.
Well,
I'm so glad you asked.
I asked you. Let's be real. I'm going to ask you. I came here for help, so be it. Explain, please.
Okay. I think you're only half being sarcastic. I think you really are curious.
If I was going to be sarcastic, Dr. Phill, I would have came up with something better than that. I'm wanting to know.
Well, I said half sarcastic. All right, we're going to take a break, and then I am going to answer his question in detail. And you're sitting there like, great, get him fixed. Boy, have I got some questions for you, lady. We'll be right back.
When Drew doesn't want to listen to me, he'll wave his hand and say, off, I'm leaving.
Something's going to have to give, or that's it, Brenda, I'm done.
Austin was 11. The cable guy came to our house, and Drew told him, just a minute, I'm going to go my son up. The cable guy called Child Protective Services. It came back inconclusive. Drew might have said something, but he didn't follow through with it, which I'm glad.
Austin always makes me look like I'm the bad guy. I don't deserve it.
How well do you really know the person that you invite into your home and into your children's lives? It's a question more single parents need to ask themselves, because last year alone, child advocacy centers reportedly assisted nearly 86,000 children who were abused by their step-parents. We conducted a survey and asked parents if they disliked their stepchildren. Now, that's a provocative question. You think, who would ask somebody that? Well, we asked somebody that. 36% said yes. 36% said, you know, if I'm just anonymous here and don't put my name on this, yeah, I don't like my stepkids. Now, Brenda believes that her husband, Drew, must not like her children because of how abusive he is. He says, that's not true. I love these kids to death. But she says his anger escalates when she steps in and defends them.
I've about had enough of your mouth. Keep it up and I'm going to spank your ass. Austin puts a big strain on my relationship with my wife. She always thinks that I'm being the bad guy or too mean. I'm getting a little sick and tired of your crap. Running your mouth. Basically, you're going to do what you're told or you're going to get your ass beat.
I'm always in the middle when I have to get in Drew's face because he's trying to pick on my son. I say, pick on somebody your own size. I'll say, off. Stop threatening all the time.
I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I really don't care. You can take your little film and stick it where the sun don't shine because I'm tired of his little stupid mouth that's disrespectful.
I don't think Drew is in control of his actions or his mouth. I think he needs medication.
You gonna put up with this crap? Been doing this for going on 9 years, and I'm not going to do it any longer.
When Drew doesn't want to listen to me, he'll wave his hand and say, off, I'm leaving.
Something's going to have to give, or that's it, Brenda. I'm done. I'm serious. I'm not playing. I'm sick of this. I'm not going to be the one that's always trying to look like I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to make his ass mine. Disrespectful little brat. You don't side in with me.
Can't get a word in because your mouth keeps running.
I'm done with you.
See? That's what he does. He walks away.
Okay, let me ask you, because I've learned I'm coming up on our 2000th show here. And one thing I've learned is that when people sit back and watch their life, their conduct, their behavior on tape, it sometimes is informative. What's your reaction? You just watched yourself on tape there.
That's a good question. How should I answer that? Well, when I say I'm done and I walk out, I think it's better that I walk away out of the situation to get some fresh air, to get out of the aggravation.
See, that's really an interesting answer. I find it really interesting because, and you guys, I'm sure know it's the same thing. You have no comment on your demeanor, your conduct, your name calling, the aggressive and rageful nature of what you were saying. You just say, well, yeah, I probably should walk away. That doesn't even register with you. Let me ask you this question. Let me get a little more specific. How much fun do you think you are to live with?
Couldn't tell you.
Well, think about it for a minute. Think about it. You're not you. You're her, or you're him, or you're the daughter. Any of the three. How much fun do you think they have living with you when we just watched that tape?
Well, if that was it, if that tape actually existed all the time as my life was going on every day, it wouldn't be fun at all. But that's just a little partial time. We do have
every
fun.
other day at least. You and Austin are arguing, and I'm having to step in.
When Drew picked me up and threw me against the wall, it made me feel scared inside. When Drew threatens me, I hate him. I don't like living this way. When Drew threatens me, I hate him. I don't like living this way. When Drew picked me up and threw me against the wall, it made me feel scared inside. A lot of my friends don't want to come over because they're scared of Drew. He called one of my friends a mental-looking beaver bulldog mixed. I said, why did you do it? He said he's a mental hairy-looking gorilla. I was like, wow. Drew gets annoyed with Destiny because she kind of has a problem, but she's my sister and I will protect her no matter what. He said to her, why are you acting retarded? I stuck up for my sister and said, you don't talk to my sister like that. Drew always tells me whenever he fights with my mom, it's always because of me. It's hard to see my mom be sad. It makes me feel inside like I'm gonna cry, and I don't like that. He said if it wasn't for me, there would be no problems. It hurts my feelings a lot, actually, to him say that. I wish that we can get along and be happy together.
What's your thought?
My thought is he's unhappy quite a bit. Apparently they're all unhappy, and so myself, I'm unhappy too. I don't like to fight with them. I would rather not. I don't need to raise my blood pressure any higher than it already is over something crazy and stupid. But it seems like the majority of the time he's disrespectful and always standing up and telling me that he's not going to do something. And it just really irritates the hell out of me when he does that.
I get that you don't like all of his behavior. What I'm trying to get you to get is that your reaction to it, your method to it, you cannot manage the situation with intimidation and succeed. You cannot be a loudmouth, abusive bully and succeed. And I'll guarantee you that's how he sees you. I guarantee you that's how she sees you. I guarantee that's how she sees you when you are doing what you're doing. Is that what you want for yourself?
That's not what I want.
Is that what you're doing? Are you being a loudmouth, abusive bully?
Apparently, I guess I am.
No, I'm asking you. You said you would be honest. Are you?
Did I just answer your question?
No.
Yes, I just did.
Well, answer it again, because I'm not very smart.
I think you're smarter than you're playing off right now, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm not even close to being finished speaking to Drew, and I haven't even gotten to speak to Brenda yet. You do not want to miss tomorrow's show. If you suspect child again trying to save another addict's life, can you believe that 10 years ago, right here on this stage, we made television history with the first ever on-air drug intervention on Brandon?
Did you lie to me to get him in here? Answer my question.
You are the biggest liar in the group. You lie to your father, you lie to your mother. That's the pot calling the kettle black, my friend.
Brandon, I know you want
Don't
help.
talk to me. Am I done? Can I go now?
He walked down this runway with a big choice to make. Now he's going to walk back up it today. Let's welcome Brandon. Well, Brandon is now 7 years sober and has been paying it forward ever since. He partnered with his mother, Debbie, and together they have performed hundreds of interventions all across the nation. Take a look at some of their toughest cases.
Oh my gosh, what the f?
Why do you think we're here? Tell me.
We're all gonna run in there behind her.
JL, hold on.
You're not leaving, Jill.
We went in, attempted to intervene on jail, and she went into a full-blown meth psychosis rage.
You don't even know me.
No, I don't know.
So then how are you going to sit here and tell me I'm out of my mind?
Because I've been where you're at.
I don't care about your life and your sad sob story. And I don't even want you here. Get off of me! Call 911.
Say hello to Debbie and Brandon. They are here with me now. So, how you doing? Catch us up.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
I never, ever imagined life could be so good.
And actually, when I say that you guys are paying it forward, you guys have been doing interventions. You've been helping us with interventions. And when Debbie called us about this next story, she said the family desperately needed our help. In just 3 years, 20-year-old Lonnie had gone from a straight-A student to getting kicked out of high school for trading pills and later selling heroin to an undercover cop. This family was on the brink of giving up hope. Take a look.
My daughter Lonnie, she's 20 years old. She's addicted to heroin. Left the house a few weeks ago. We haven't seen her since.
Lonnie was a great kid. She always loved to be around family.
When she was in 8th grade, her grandfather died. They were very, very close. That was the major turning point. She was more withdrawn and began experimenting with drugs. When she was a sophomore, she was expelled for having narcotics on her. She had Norcos, which she took from grandma. In 12th grade, she was high all the time. I would talk to her. She was a good liar. I'm not high. I'm not doing anything. I found out later that she was taking ecstasy.
I suspected Lonnie doing drugs about 2.5 years ago. She met this boy. The second I saw this guy, I knew it was bad news.
When she was 18, she moved out. Last year, she was arrested 2 times for possession. One of those, she sold to an undercover cop. Then she moved back home. It continued to get worse. We would find cut-up straws, squares of foil that were very dirty and ashy, and a lot of dark fingerprints on the wall.
We've found it in her clothes, under her bed. I'm talking hundreds of pieces of foil.
I have another daughter, Lindsay. She's a perfect kid.
My sister is toxic. The amount of stress and the feeling of anxiety all the time. I'm mortified to be your sister. I've thought about coming home one day and she died. It's like a really scary feeling, but I don't care. I've always felt in the bottom of my heart, there's no hope for this girl.
About 3 weeks ago, Paul had hundreds of dollars missing out of his bank account. We confronted her, and of course, it's always deny. She went to live with Grandma.
There were several times when I found that there were bills missing from my wallet. There were a couple of old gold necklaces that were missing.
So we confronted her. She denied it. Her boyfriend came and picked her up. She hugged me and said, "I love you, Mom. Don't worry, I'm fine." That was the last time we saw her.
Jail doesn't scare her. Death doesn't scare her. I'm numb. I don't even want to look at her.
She doesn't want to get clean. She likes heroin.
How is it that you have a daughter that is a heroin addict, 2 felonies pending, hanging out with druggies? How did we get in this situation?
I just think it started from school, hanging in the environment that she was hanging out with. She wanted to be on the outside and just be around terrible environment. Kids that had no direction, no goals.
But why?
I think she has very low self-esteem.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know if she was...
I have no idea. We've always told her how beautiful
Okay,
she was.
Let me stop y'all here for a minute. This is important to me. Have you
No, I
not given
know.
any thought to this?
Oh, of course.
Because I'm asking, you're going like, well, that never occurred to me that somebody's going to ask me how we got to this point. I need you to come full present here right now. I don't mess around. If she wants to be a drug addict, I am her worst damn nightmare. Because let me tell you, I will haunt her ass till the end of the world. Okay? You have no idea. And I ask you a question, and you're just kind of staring off like you're in shock. I listen to what you say, and you say, I'm done. I'm through with her. And if that's true...
It's not true. I mean, I'll do anything for
Then
my
why
daughter.
did you say that? If you're not in this deal, then you need to excuse yourself, because I'm getting ready to deal with your daughter, and I can't have anybody dragging their feet or anybody that's not committed to it. I have a philosophy, and you need to adopt it and embrace it. And it is this: you never, ever surrender to the disease. There were 6 times that I personally could have given up on him, 100 times that Doug and Debbie could have given up on Brandon, but they didn't. I've interviewed him on this stage. I've interviewed him in an orange jumpsuit in the Harris County Jail, and his mother was driving around not knowing she had black tar heroin hidden in her car because he had left it in the console. Okay? You didn't invent this problem, but you have it. So there has to be a sense of urgency here. I may never see her other than today. And you've got these two here. He's lived it. He's been there. She's a psychiatric nurse, a drug specialist. You have the A-team here.
Right.
So let me ask you again, why is she this way? So let me ask you again, why is she this way?
I think this has been a lifelong coming issue. She's, as a child, she was unhappy, never felt good about herself.
What'd you do about that?
Oh, I took her to psychiatrists,
What did they do about it?
therapists. I had her evaluated. They were never able to peel back anything significant to get her to change or realize that she was a beautiful person.
Paul?
A lot of her problems are, it's hereditary. I mean, I grew up where my brother committed suicide when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for your loss about that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our family has multi-generational mental problems. I really feel that Paul has never dealt with the death of his brother.
My brother had a mental imbalance. In 1983, my brother committed suicide. He did it in his car. Asphyxiation. I mean, bloodline is bloodline.
I think that he blames himself, passing that on to his daughter. Lonnie and I had many private conversations that I never shared with Paul because I was fearful that he would kick her out. He can't handle it. I really feel that Paul is a different man than I married. He's checked out. He's done.
I'm more on my dad's side where we're done and we don't want to do this anymore. I'm not here for Lonnie. I'm here to support my mom and my dad, not for her.
Do you have any idea why she expresses so much hate towards y'all?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Where she is now is not consistent with what her upbringing was.
Absolutely.
Because y'all got along.
Absolutely.
There was happiness in the
Yeah,
home.
it was a
You got along as a
beautiful
sister.
family.
Absolutely.
You got
always
along.
did things together.
And then it turned.
Right.
I mean, we tried everything we can. We're still trying. There was a lot of enabling because we have no idea what we're doing, and I think that's why she's in this situation. We have no idea what we're doing, so every answer could be the right answer. So we tried everything.
You said in 2009 she admits using ecstasy, but yet you had no clue that she was into drugs, even though she had been expelled before for swapping pills around.
I knew she was doing the pills, but at that point, she was wanting to be Joe Cool. And I think she wanted to show people the pills, and it was more about just being cool than taking them at that time. At that time. Because she had...
Perhaps you underestimated the danger there.
Well, but I think because we had pills at home, and they were never touched at that time.
When she was 16, she was dating a 23-year-old. You threatened to call the cops, but you never did.
Well, she denied it for so long that she never admitted that they were going together. It was just always a group of friends
Just
at the beginning.
hanging out.
In February of this year, she was arrested for possession of heroin.
Right.
She said it was not hers. Did you bail her out?
Yes.
Did you bail her friend out?
Yes.
Your theory was, I need her out on the street so she has
No.
access to more drugs?
They told me there was a jacket that was left in the car, and it was in the pocket of a jacket.
And they were set up.
And they were set up by someone.
And you believed that?
Yeah.
Let me add that, while I was on probation, I failed 10 drug tests in a row, and I still tried to convince the judge that the lab results were, messed up somehow. That's how bad we'll lie to try and worm
let
our
me
way
tell
out
you,
of it.
I had her pinned against the wall when he was in Harris County Jail and says, if you bail him out, I will never speak to you people again, ever. Make a choice. I'm in or I'm out. You bail him out, I'm out. You remember that conversation? Because it's
Absolutely.
hard for a mother to let her son sit down. He's in there for like 6 months.
Yes. I knew at that very moment he lives or he dies. And I had to make a choice. And the choice was this is a very tough disease, and I had to get tough. And I accessed an anger that I didn't know I had, not at him, but at the drugs.
Right.
And that's when I said, we're done, we're not moving back. We did not bail him out, and he spent 6 months, 180 days in the Harris County Jail.
You admit you're still paying for the bail bonds. You searched her room, you found a black wax pot in there, drug paraphernalia. You hid that from your husband. You didn't tell him.
At certain times.
I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. I don't think this is the day that we should talk to your daughter. Because you guys aren't ready. You're hiding stuff from your husband. You damn well know it.
She's not hiding anything from me.
Well,
you're defending her, saying, no, she's not hiding anything from me. Yes, she is. You're hiding stuff from your husband. You damn well know it. And I ask you, and you say, well, sometimes not. I mean, come on, lady.
No, I did.
She's not hiding anything from me.
Well, because Paul
Well,
was...
she told us that she did, so she's either lying to us or she's lying
But it's
to
a
you.
little...
No, because
She said she didn't tell you because you couldn't take it. She was afraid you would kick her out of the house if you knew.
I would have.
Well, that wasn't the question. The question was you're defending her, saying, no, she's not hiding anything from me. Yes, she is.
Well, she's scared about her daughter going on the street.
She doesn't want her on the street, but yet she goes down and bails her out of jail. I told Debbie, at least when he's in jail, you know he has at least limited access to drugs.
But she did come back home with us. She was living with us, and we were able to monitor her more.
That saved my life.
How many times did your mom bail you out?
Once or twice before.
Well, that's where we are.
Dr. Phill. Yeah.
You don't want to see your kid in jail.
Guys, I'm just saying, we got to all be in this together. You say,
We
hey,
are
it's
on board.
okay that I took her out of jail because I came home and monitored her. After that, she sold heroin to an undercover cop. Were you there with her?
No.
So obviously you can't monitor. Look, here's the reason I'm saying this. If you're going to believe her because you desperately want to, then you're going to undermine anything and everything that I might do, that a treatment center might do. This girl doesn't need to go to rehab. She needs to be in a dual diagnostic center, a dual treatment center where they deal with the psychological issues that drive this. And that is a serious swing at the ball here. And let me tell you, if y'all sabotage it, not intentionally, but you're making some really bad decisions. And when I'm pointing them out to you, you're saying, well, no, sort of, kind of, well, maybe. Oh, she didn't lie to me. Yes, I did. Well, sometimes I did. Sometimes I. It's like, seriously?
No, I didn't know what to do. I had no one to talk to.
But you do now. You're here now.
But
So that's
I'm just
why
saying at that time.
I'm trying to really cut
We're
through
at
the
our
chase
last
here.
resort, Dr.
It's been years
I understand,
of this.
but you have to stop leaning on your own understanding and listen to professionals here. Do you see my point?
Yeah, I understand.
got you.
You guys are. She's saying I hid stuff from him. No, she didn't. Yes, I did. No, she didn't. You don't know because she hid it from you. How can you know?
Yeah. Right.
You are enabling your daughter by hiding her pathology from your husband. How old are you?
18.
18. You have a child on the end of the row saying, "Been a lot of enabling going on here." Hell, she gets it. She's just 18.
I know.
Right? This
Yeah.
girl
I know.
can be dead tomorrow.
I know.
And she hates you people.
I know.
That's what she says.
I know.
She doesn't really, but that's what she says. Because she's trying to drive you away because she wants to remove every obstacle she can that's between her and drugs. I mean, we saw her standing there in a sweatshirt and jeans, filthy. Look at her. That's not the beautiful girl that y'all raised. I'm concerned that you're not ready. And we're going to blow an opportunity if we go in it half prepared. Because let me tell you what I am going to say to her at some point. You either do what I'm telling you need to do, or my advice to your parents is to stalk you until you can get busted and violated on a third felony and put in prison for years. Because I would rather have your daughter in jail than have her dead in a gutter week after next. She's not going to like me, and I don't care. I'm not here to make a friend. I'm here to save a life. We're playing hardball here because she's a hard case. She's a heroin addict. So you're in or you're out. Hardball. Hardball.
I know.
My agenda is we get her off the street, we get her help, or we get her locked up where she can't kill herself.
That's what we want.
Fine.
Lonnie's addiction is not only destroying her, it's tearing apart her parents' marriage, as you can see. It's disrupting the family life. Lonnie was missing for 3 weeks, and just days ago, her mother, Lynn, and Marilee went in search of her. What they found is why I am so concerned.
This is where Lonnie is, right here. There's 3 or 4 or 5 other houses that these druggies bounce to.
Go get her! I just want to talk to her for 2 minutes. The cops are coming.
When 20-year-old Lonnie was caught selling drugs to an undercover police officer and then used as an informant, her family hoped she would put her struggles with drugs behind her. But sadly and predictably, Lonnie's drug use grew worse. When she went missing recently, her mother Lynn and Mary Lee turned into wannabe private investigators in an effort to track Lonnie down.
My life has been a constant private eye session. I have not spoke to my daughter in 2 weeks. She's alone out there. Mary Lee is my cousin, and she has gone through a lot of these struggles with me.
Lonnie's the worst I've ever seen her. I know that she's going to die if we don't get her help. This is the road right here that they told us that we needed to go on. This idiot we thought was maybe actually trying to possibly help her out. Sent us on a wild goose chase.
She's alone in the trailer. We're getting close. We're approximately 2 minutes from the dirt road.
This is where Lonnie is, right here. There's 3 or 4 or 5 other houses that these druggies bounce to. If he doesn't produce her and the cops come, get ready. Because someone's going to jail. We have a missing person. We're waiting for the police. As far as we're concerned, Lonnie's missing.
Go get her! I just want to talk to her for 2 minutes. The cops are coming. Come here, Lonnie, honey. I just want to talk to you. Talk. Okay, Lonnie. I need to take you to you get help. No, you don't. I'm fine.
Lonnie, you're living with men, honey, that you've known a week. You're finally away from the boyfriend, but you're with people that you don't know.
Well, I'm not leaving. I'm fine here, and you can't make me leave. I'm not doing drugs.
If you get one more felony, babe, you are going to prison.
Mom,
sick. You're sick,
I'm
babe.
not sick. Mom, stop. I'm done.
You have no clothes. Lonnie, look at where you're living.
Lonnie! Come on! You have a family that wants you to get better.
I have followed Debbie and Brandon for a long time. I think they're absolutely superb at what they do. I got the number, I called it, and Debbie picked up the phone. Said, I'm begging you for your help. He's gonna die. She said, I'm gonna email the Dr. Phill show. And I said, what? Are you serious? We need Debbie and Brandon now to come get her because we can't do it on our own.
Don't start calling the cops for a missing person. You know I'm here, Mom.
So you just want to be an addict and live in the dirt?
I'm not getting high.
Lonnie, you need to go and get clean at a hospital. You need help.
A hospital.
So you.
She's 20 years old. I wanted to have a chance to live.
At that point, we decided to send Brandon in to lend some help.
I just pulled up to Lonnie's house, actually Lonnie's parents' house. I'm gonna go inside, meet the family, and figure this thing out. Hi, how are you doing? You must be Lynn?
I'm Lynn.
Dude.
Come in.
Oh, you're
Come
so
in,
welcome,
in.
so welcome.
Let me introduce you.
Hi, how are you doing? Why don't you guys, go ahead and give me a little info about this place that she's been staying at.
This area has no street signs, no paved roads. It's dirt and trailers. It's a desolate, dark road.
She's known these men for 8 days.
Let me stop you here.
8
Total
days.
strangers.
We have no idea.
They're 40 and 50.
Oh my God, they're like have
they're
kids.
She's 20.
Yes.
But you did get to see her and talk to her for a little
You're
bit.
the best.
It's a good thing that you guys did reach out. Let's go check this place out.
Yeah, we need to go about a half mile down the road.
Okay. All right, I'm pulling into the street where she's staying at. Turn the light off real quick so they don't spot us.
So we're right up here on the left, that wood color fence. That's it.
Oh, there's a camera on the side of that house right there, like a security camera. Hopefully it's not as bad as we think and we can get her out and get her help.
Well, after Brandon spent the night surveilling the area, the family convened the next morning to devise a plan with Brandon and his mother, Debbie.
I'm Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm Lynn. And this is Mary Lee.
Why are we here?
She's probably going to die if we don't get to her ASAP.
We've got to go in and extract her out of that compound to give her a chance.
You can only get out of the trailer right here or right here.
We should probably go to this direction first.
Okay, so we've got a plan together. Everybody knows what we're going to do.
If any one of you feel in danger, calmly call 911. We are going to get her to LA to talk to Dr. Phill.
Well, the next day, they did it. They headed to the trailer park at the end of a dusty road.
All right, right now, we're on our way out to the compound, ready to do this extraction. I'm with Paul and Sam, and we're gonna go get his daughter out of this compound.
I'm beyond nervousness right now. I'm just ready to do this plan.
This is the entrance to the compound where all the trailers are. They've got, blinds up and stuff over their windows.
Lonnie, come out here. It's your dad. I need to talk to you.
I see a hole in the fence where she could possibly, run out the back.
See anything over here, Sammy? I don't hear anything. I don't see any movement. There's movement. Lonnie!
Oh, they nailed this shut.
There's people in there, no doubt.
Hey, is Lonnie in there? I'm her father, and I need to see Lonnie right now. Lonnie was here.
Lonnie's here.
2 people did come out of the residence and said that, Lonnie's not here. They don't know who Lonnie is. They've never seen Lonnie. I'm not convinced that she's not inside hiding. I still think she might be inside there.
I can hear her. She's in there.
I haven't seen my daughter in I'm worried sick about her.
So she's not here, but you just found out she doesn't want to talk to us. There's a guy whose nickname is He just came out of the trailer and admitted that he does know where Lonnie is and she is inside the trailer.
So you're gonna call the cops on me? Lonnie!
Quite a ordeal. I'm adding Mary Lee to this. Mary Lee, thank you for being here. First off, thank you for writing. Thank you for reaching out. You've been a real movement in this thing and getting stuff along. Sam, thanks for being there and helping get everything together. This is Lonnie's grandmother down here. Hello to you as well. We have a lot of people here that care a lot about this young woman. I'm leaning on these guys to come present, get focused, stop listening to her lies, and hold her feet to the fire here. What do you think about what you've been hearing me say this whole time?
I'm so glad. And it's a family emergency. And this is a family problem, as you can see. And I've seen it for many years.
Lonnie was at the trailer, but how are they going to get her past the fence and actually get to have a dialogue with her? You don't want to miss what happened next. We'll be right back. Lynn and Paul have been trying for years to help their daughter Lonnie beat their addiction to drugs. And like so many parents, they have a lot more love than they do knowledge about what to do. If you've ever been in that world, it is hard. When they kicked her out 3 weeks ago, they never imagined they'd find themselves in the middle of some trailer park at the end of a dusty road far from the beautiful LA suburb that she grew up in. Now, with Brandon and Debbie's help, the family devised a plan to try to get to her. They just learned that a man that Lonnie was indeed hiding out with was in that trailer. He threatened to call the cops on them. Boy, that's when I wish I'd have been there. You better believe he would have met some cops and met them in a hurry. But did he? Let's see what happened next.
I have a team in place.
Paul is talking to the police officer right now, and he has agreed to finally help us get Lonnie out of here. I just overheard that the cop ran this guy's record, and he told him he'd better cooperate with us or he could take him in. So he went inside, and he got Lonnie to come out.
There's my daughter. She's out in the open. Lonnie, I haven't seen you in a month. I just want to talk to you.
Start talking.
I don't want to bury my daughter.
You're not going to. I know I have a problem. I know, but I'm staying clean. What do you have? What's your idea?
I have a doctor lined up for you.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I want to introduce you to the nurse. Debbie, this is my daughter, Lonnie.
I appreciate that.
I'm Debbie.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm a nursing counselor. Okay. And the only reason I'm here is because your family's just worried about me.
Your mom and Mary Lee wrote in to Dr. Phill. Do it.
I'll think about it.
I know you said that.
I'm not going anywhere today. I'm telling you that right now.
I think we are making a little progress. She said she wants to think about it.
I don't want you bringing this drama here, Mom. I'm not getting high. I'm just trying to stay away from you for a little bit.
The only person that they're gonna listen to that can actually hold a mirror up in front of them and say, this is what you've done wrong to your daughter, that guy's Dr. Phill. Lonnie is still resisting. Marilee is talking to her right now.
Just give me 2 days with you. And I give you my word, God is my witness, I'll never come chasing after you again. I just want you to go talk to Dr. Phill. Please?
Whatever.
Okay, baby, let's go get
Can
your
I
stuff.
get my out?
You can do whatever you want.
We finally got Lonnie to agree to come with us, and she went inside, got her stuff, and she's on her way out right now. So here she is coming out, and she's got her stuff, so we got her.
It took 2 days. Family members, Brandon, and 2 police officers, but Lonnie finally made it here. So Lonnie, please join us. How you doing? Dr. Phill, how are you? Seat right here. You know why these people are clapping when you walk out?
No.
I think they recognize that it took some real courage on your part to do that. And I'm glad that you're here. How do you feel about being here?
I'm all right.
What's the good and bad about being here?
I want finally to get my family help, not just me, but my whole family. We all have major problems. We just need to lay everything out on the table and talk about it and figure something out.
It's like you're reading my mind. You know, one of the things that frustrates me, people have heard me say it before, is I have family members that bring kids. This even happened when I was in private practice, and people would bring their kids and drop them at the therapeutic altar and say, here, fix them and call me when you're done. And I'd say, whoa, wait a minute. Come in and set your ass down, because kids don't get into these issues in a vacuum. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. And you are exactly right. You are reading my mind. I agree with you 100%. You have serious problems. You are making some serious bad decisions, and this is a family problem. I have had some very hard conversations with your parents already, and they probably don't like me very much right now, because I kind of been chewing their ass
That's okay.
about what they've done and haven't done. What I've not done is questioned whether they loved you and whether their intention was good.
I know they love me, and I know their intentions are good.
Is that a fair thing?
Assessment,
Have you felt chewed out? I'm sorry, but I know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know. But I needed you to change your position.
I understand.
But anywhere in there, did you ever hear me say that you didn't mean well and didn't love your daughter? Because you didn't hear me say that, because I don't believe that. I believe that you love this daughter very much. I said that your dad would run through a door or climb any mountain to help you. He would lay his life down for you. But he is also a big part of this problem. Your mother, the same thing. She would die for you. But she is a big part of this problem. I totally get that. Why are you so mad at them?
You know, I could sit here today and say, yeah, I have mental problems. I'm a drug addict. Up. I've stolen, I've lied, I've cheated. And I could say that on national television. I'm a drug addict. But there's someone else who is a drug addict, who is keeping this on the down low, who I think needs to talk about it.
Who is that?
You're doing heroin and meth. You're hanging around with people named...
I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm getting everything out on the table. There's someone else who is a drug addict, who is keeping this on the down low, who I think needs to talk about it.
Who is that?
Do you want to talk about it, or you want me to? It needs to get out there. It's a major problem. A couple years after my sister was born, my mom was addicted to Norcos, up to 30 a day. Don't start. She got on Suboxone to get off of him. She's still taking Suboxone.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Stop.
Hey, I grew up in the 80s. I'll admit, You know how they say if you remember the 80s, you weren't there? I don't remember much of the 80s. I was, I experimented. I have been very honest with my children. Very honest.
Does
Both
Lindsay
of them.
know?
I've
Does
been
Lindsay
honest
know
with
that-
her.
Lonnie, your mom is not a drug addict.
She had a drug problem.
You're doing heroin and meth. You're hanging around with people named living in scum.
Lonnie, I have been taking.
Did you have a drug
Prozac
problem?
and Xanax. Yeah, I know, Lon.
Were you taking up to 30 Norcos a day?
What are you talking about?
Hold on, Paul. She's having a conversation with her mother. Let's let them have it.
Be honest. Be honest.
I have taken painkillers. Yes.
Did you have a problem?
I don't think
Were
it was
you
a problem.
addicted?
No.
Are you an addict?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You are a liar, Mom.
I'm not. Like I said.
So your point is that she has had a history of abusing prescription drugs for sure.
When I moved back home, I was on heroin and I wasn't feeling good. And I said, I don't feel good. And she said, I know how you feel. I know what you're going through. And I said, no, you don't. And she pulled me aside and said, listen, your sister doesn't know. Your family doesn't know. Your dad doesn't know the extent of it. I was addicted to painkillers your whole childhood, up to 30 Norcos a day. So she knows what detox feels like. She doesn't want the world to know.
Okay, well, did you have that conversation? And no, before you answer, this isn't an essay question.
Right.
You either had the conversation or you didn't.
We had the conversation.
Okay, so she acknowledges that.
So you're an addict. You had a drug problem.
I admitted to you that I have the same brain as you, that I feel the same way. When I take a painkiller, I know how you feel.
30 Norcos a day? Say it. I'm a heroin addict. I can say it. Man up and own your shit.
All right.
I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm getting everything out on the table.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Were you addicted to painkillers?
For an amount of time, yeah.
Okay, and you had to use Suboxone
to get off
to get off of them.
Right.
Okay, so next, what else did you want on the table?
That was just a major thing for me because, all the attention's on me for being the drug addict, but then you're in the closet. You had your addiction, but no one knew. You were normal.
Now they do.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
You need help. You need more help than just some rehab program. You need a lot of help to get the life that I think you deserve. I do want to make what I think is a very unique program available to you. It's not just some rehab program. It's what we call a dual diagnosis program that can truly give you the chance to get traction and become all of who you are. Mandy Baker is here. I flew her in here from Texas today. She's Vice President, Executive Clinical Director of the Origins Recovery Center. And I want you to do that. And I want you to do it with an understanding and a commitment from me that while you're doing that, these people right here have got a hell of a lot of work that I am going to set up for them to do as well, as much or more work as you're doing, so you have a chance to come home and really have a relationship where there's honesty instead of hypocrisy, where people respect the boundaries in your life, but yet hold you accountable. You've got legal problems, we will help with those as well. I'm willing to make every resource at my fingertips available to you, and they are appreciable. What I need you to do is tell me in all sincerity that you will immerse yourself in this program. Will you do that?
Yes, I will.
We have a deal? You will do that? Okay. All right. You can do this.